Hey guys, Mike here. So I thought I'd try a little different kind of videos. I never really get a chance to do this kind of stuff, so I wanted to, go through the comments with you guys and try to answer some questions, try to get you guys to help answer some questions. A couple inspiring stories. We'll start off with one. We'll definitely end with one. And I really appreciate you guys sharing that stuff because it's not easy sharing personal stuff. Trust me, I know. And then there's some few things, that were in here, and I just like reading because I like to start discussions and I like to learn myself too. So maybe you'll learn something as well. And, one of them, I'll just say it like the person is dead wrong. I'm going to show them why they're dead wrong. Hopefully they understand. But many people believe this myth, and I want to make sure you understand it's just not true. Okay, it's just not true. And you always know me. The whole goal on this channel, I make no apologies for it. It is to try to fight for middle class, everyday working Americans, all that good stuff. Because I know we're getting screwed. I don't care what anybody says. I know what the data tells me, right? And, have we increased our income? Yep. Do we plan on continuing to increase our income? Yep. All I'm asking is that the system is fair. That's all I'm asking, okay? And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, and hopefully you get it, and maybe you can correct me and educate me on where I'm wrong at. Now, start off with one good story. I shared mine the other day, so people started sharing theirs, and it says, I was in my 30s. I went back to school with 2 toddlers. Best thing I ever did. It was torture. At the same time, it paid off greatly. Trust me, I know exactly what you're talking about. I hope you inspired people just sharing. And, I really appreciate, Liz Becker sharing that. And congratulations to you. And it always is the best thing. But yes, let nobody tell you, it is not easy going back to school, especially if you do have children. It is tough, okay? And so thank you for that. And this is a question of one of our viewers, CTRS4791. It says, hey, Mike, I'm a longtime viewer and subscriber. Have a very interesting question for you to answer. Because the government debt spiral looking for hedge, can we buy credit default swaps against the government debt / government solvency and like a 30-year vehicle? If so, how much would that cost? Is it a reasonable price for such insurance? I don't know the answer to this because I've never done this. So if anybody has experienced this, please answer down in the comments, and then I'll try to get it to CTRS and see if we can figure that out for you, okay? And we got a question from Ed Moore 1086. He asked, how do you get that chart with the sectors compare? He's talking about sector rotation. I use TradeView, and you can see right here, you can literally just copy these, but you see at the left, it tells you what they are. Utilities right here. I use VNQ for real estate. You can use anything, though, if you want to. XLIs, industrials. XLP is consumer staples. XLV is healthcare. XLK is technology. So on and so on. As you see right here, it'll tell you what they are. And then you can just pull them up and then just add each one of them in there, and you can see which one's going up, which one's going down, and you know where big money's going into. And you can also create ratios with these. I've done videos for members about this, which are really powerful ratios to even show that as well. And so I can compare in like XLU to the SPY or something, right? And then our next one is from Nicholas Jobson. And this one says, while Warren Buffett pays less percentage, he still pays more overall. Also, he creates jobs his secretary does not. So naturally, he will pass those taxes down to his employees. The more you employ, the better it is for your business. And guys, before we continue, if you get anything out of this, please hit that thumbs up down there. I really appreciate it. And if you like the material here and the videos, think about subscribing. And this is one I want to say that I could be misinterpreting what you're saying, and I apologize, man, but I do want to make sure people understand this. Warren Buffett employs nobody, okay? Berkshire Hathaway employs about 360,000 people, okay? So I understand this because you're talking about individual taxes. You weren't talking about corporate taxes, okay? And so you're mixing those two up. The richer Warren Buffett gets doesn't mean he hires anybody else, okay? And what do I mean by that? Prime example is a great example. These numbers will blow your mind, by the way, just FYI. Mark Zuckerberg has increased his wealth by $67 billion just this year alone. That's over half his fortune, people. Okay? While at the same time, he got richer. Guess what Facebook has done? They have laid off 21,000 people in the last 12 months. So you need to keep that in mind. And so I really want to get that myth out of here, okay? The richer somebody gets, it doesn't mean they employ anymore. When LeBron James signs the extra $100 million, doesn't mean he employs or hires anybody else. Okay, he already has a staff, and so many are like that. So don't misconstrue that or there. The more money a company makes, you would think they would try to hire more people. That's not always the case either. Okay, they literally can just hand out bonuses to executives and do their thing. Don't mean they're going to hire anybody else. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. Now, Christy Love Jones said, right on point as usual. Our tax system, healthcare system, and educational system is broken in my humble opinion. I really couldn't agree more. I mean, there's major issues with the healthcare system. My number one is that the number one reason for bankruptcy in this country still is medical bills. And my family literally went bankrupt twice, once for my brother when he was a baby and once for me to save my right hand when I was 8 years old. And that's just really sad. The education system, we can debate that one for a long time. There's a lot of problems with that one right there as well. So yeah, I absolutely agree there, Christy. Thanks for the comment. And then we go on to Ed Roos. This is pretty interesting. He said, we need a consumption tax which is tiered based on the price of the item. For example, if you want to buy a $100,000 TV, then instead of paying 8% on that purchase, you pay like 20% or greater. It's a thought. I don't know. And I think you said that the interesting part was being like tiered out, and I'd love to hear more about that because that would be interesting. Let's see it. And so if you're talking about like different tiers, pay different amount of consumption, that is something to think about. And I'd be interested. What would your tier and level be for like a senior citizen on Social Security? That would be a very interesting thing. Is we don't want to. Obviously, nobody wants to screw over the seniors, right? I mean, let's be real about that. And the next one comes from Thrash Law, Patents, and TMs. Now, this is an interesting one. The only fair system is a flat tax with exclusions for necessities: food, clothing, shelter, transport, communications, up to an inflation index number, and no other deductions. While we're kind of on the topic, I'd cap congressional pay at 2x, hallelujah to that, the U.S. workers' average mean, maybe even 1x, but consider that most need to live in two cities, and ban stock and options trading for their immediate family during their term plus a year. I could not agree more at all with that as absolute truth. Also end all the service fees on utilities. Those are taxes on the poor. I'm not really familiar with those, but that's great. So I really like this comment, and let me know what you guys think in the comment about this one. I mean, this is something you got to kind of eat on a little bit, but I mean, a flat tax, it takes out all the basic necessities. Pretty good deal right there. And I love the part about Congress, but let me know what you think about that. Appreciate that comment. And then you got another one, I believe it's Ryan Donahue. Just look at our Social Security system. Federal government increased the last year from $147K to $160K, basically meaning if you got a pay raise or worked a bunch from OT to gross above $147K, you're getting hit with additional tax. If I'm a millionaire grossing well above $160K, I don't have to pay any additional tax. It's always the middle class getting raked over the coals. And Ryan, this is a great subject, and let me tell you something. Here's what most people don't know. So you're about to learn something. Ready? Let me ask you a question. This is how you know the system is rigged like crazy. What do the richest old people and the poorest old people have in common? Anybody have a clue? They have a lot of medical bills. So what did the wealthy do? And of course our Congress they're rich too, right? They pass it where on Medicare there is no cap. No cap at all. They're willing to pay all the freight on that, no problem. Tax all their dollars on that. So you get Medicare. But they made sure they put a cap on Social Security because what do rich people not need? They don't need Social Security. My contention is this. If you're out there bringing home, I think it's 167 or whatever, that's individual, right? So as a household, let's say each person making 125, 150,000. So they're making between 250 and 300,000, and they know how to manage their money. Do those people? And I'm talking, they live in let's say they live in a majority of America, which is reasonably priced, versus California, New York, DC, those really expensive places. Do they really need Social Security if they know how to manage their money? No, but they're paying every penny. Every penny they bring in gets taxed Social Security, right? And so if you want to, and here's the thing, people want, and what do they want to do? They want to raise retirement age to 70. Really? How about we just raise the cap, take the cap away just like you do for Medicare? There's an idea, but it won't happen. Why? Because Congress, who's millionaires and billionaires now, they're like, I don't want to pay that. I don't need Social Security. Let it go bankrupt. Let it whatever. We'll keep raising that age up, 75? And where are we going to stop at? Right? And so, so thank you for bringing that up, Ryan. You're absolutely right. That's just my opinion, of course. But I 100% agree with you on that. That's just is not right. Now, this right here from STKHNDS, right? Mike Wilson may have been right. Earnings recession is finally here. You might be right. I'm not sure. Honestly, I think we need one more to go to see. I think, when we get, again, student loans going, if China don't come back online, it continues to get worse. Absolutely, he could be right on the money on that one. We'll have to see. Now, looking at this one right here, I believe money might be going into treasuries and bonds. I was asking, hey, where do you think the money's going? You were absolutely right there. Damakes, or however you say the name, sorry. You can see right here, flows in the treasuries have reached 127 billion this year, set for an annualized record of 206 billion. So you were 100% right. That's where a lot of the money is going for sure. I'll talk about that in Sunday's video as well. And then to end on a positive note, let me just say this was a story shared by WW Music Man 706, right? And he said, you know, I've done it all, about 10 different industries, but wanted more. After a short bout of giving up and becoming a homeless, unemployed junkie, I went to school with only 1 month clean. That started a journey to now college grad, professional, family, and learning to trade in the markets. Actually looking at buying our first home within the next year, sacrifice some of my passions along the way, only to revisit and reincorporate them back to my life, where I can support myself and my family. All about sacrifice. Going on 13 years clean, which is really awesome, by the way, and about to go back for my MBA. Wow. He's right when he says, if you come from nothing, you're almost destined to remain there. Again, I mean, poverty is generational. You have to work extra hard, more than many others, but complaining gets you nowhere. Suck it up and get the work done. It's totally unfair, but it is reality. And you are 100% right. Thank you for sharing that story. I really, really appreciate it. Again, this is just one of those videos that go through the comments, try to get questions answered as a community. If I got the answer, I'll give it to you. And also, you know, start a conversation. This is how stuff works, right? Somebody said the other day, well, this will never happen. This will never happen. And you know what? You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. You never know who might watch a video and who actually does have the power to get something done, or maybe knows somebody can get something done. You just never know, right? So you got to start somewhere. I don't want to go tell my son, don't ever try to fight nothing. Won't work, right? I mean, so I don't want to do that. So anyway, if you like this kind of video, let me know and stuff. I actually really enjoyed it. I got to be honest with you. And I appreciate all your comments, all the kind words you guys put down there. Bring your questions, bring your stories, bring your comments. I enjoy them, and I know a lot of people do, because there's nothing like good conversation, right? So anyway, hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.